Nesara. The National Economic Security and Reformation Act is a global prosperity program on the cusp of being announced and activated. This program is backed by deliverable precious metals well upwards of 1 quadrillion US dollars 40 zeros. This money will be used to buy all corporations and banking cartels. Nesara will also zero out permanently cancel all personal, corporate and national debts worldwide. Nesara monies were originally scheduled for release in the year 2000, but the Bush White House and its banking conspirators prevented the disbursement through a corporate pan-global control of all mainstream media outlets, and nearly all knowledge of Nesara's existence was suppressed. However, when the Nesara Global Prosperity Program is openly and publicly announced, perhaps in this year of Golden Jubilee September 2015-September 2016, it will permanently change human civilization in every related way. The entire 8 billion human population will benefit from Nesara, and the Earth will finally be free to experience itself as the abundant planet it was created to be. Few understand there is more than enough gold to back all human currency in circulation. This means each and every human being could become an instant multi-millionaire without debt of any kind if just given the resources. Nesara is about sharing the stored gold resources of humanity for humanity with humanity by humanity around the planet and fairly. Nesara is about putting benevolent banking systems and operators in place worldwide to deliver said monetary equality consistently. No individual anywhere on Earth will be beyond the reach of the Nesara's wealth redistribution program. And no individual or organization anywhere on Earth will be able to stop Nesara once it begins either. Nesara's volume alone will cancel out all credit card, mortgage and other banking debt due to illegal banking and government corruption worldwide. Income tax will be abolished too, as Nesara will render personal taxation monetarily unnecessary. A new 14% flat rate tax on non-essential new items will provide the sustainable revenue stream for all national governments post-Nesara. There will be increased benefits for senior citizens and children post-Nesara. In the USA, there will be a return to constitutional law at every level of the legal system. The U.S. President and Vice President will be removed from office with immediate effect, and before the end of their present term under Nesara. So will all members of Congress along with their cabal handlers. All will be replaced with constitutionally acceptable Nesara President and Vice President designates, possibly including people such as General Joseph Dunford or General Carter Ham. In exchange for amnesty, Donald Trump is being allowed to temporarily expose the machinations of the cabal, especially the Clinton Foundation and Obama administration as being one in the same. There will be new presidential and congressional elections within 120 days of the Nesara announcement. These elections will be carefully monitored to prevent voter fraud and other illegal activities by special interest groups or covert syndicates. A new USA Treasury currency will come forward, backed by gold, silver, and other precious metals. A new USA Treasury bank system will also be initiated in alignment with constitutional law. The Federal Reserve System will be abolished after 1 year of transition. Personal financial, medical and internet privacy will also be restored. All judges and attorneys will be retrained in constitutional law or be dismissed. All aggressive U.S. government military actions worldwide will cease and global peace will be established. The farmers' claims will be paid first with settlements to include immediate debt forgiveness of $300,000 including mortgages, credit cards and loans for each farming family. Similar reforms will take place in every country worldwide as part of GESARA, the Global Economic Security and Reformation Act. Enormous sums of money will be made available for humanitarian projects and job creation. every American citizen over the age of 21 will receive $100,000 a month for 12 years. Suppressed technologies such as free energy devices, pollution cleanup equipment and sonic healing machines will be released for free use to all. And while the precise term Nesara might not be used initially to publicly describe the global package of prosperity, humanitarian, infrastructure and currency refinancing which has become necessary, the term will ultimately become commonplace in time. With over a decade and a half having passed since the year 2000, and with the corrupt deterioration of most aspects of life in the Western world having reached such visible degradation, the Nesara aspects of the necessary reforms shall be folded into i.e. added a number of other financial and organizational rescue initiatives, which Asia and the BRICS have now taken the lead. Also, some very historical information about White House corruption over the centuries will intersect with America's unblocking of Nesara reforms, and will be made public. The Vatican has been centrally involved in many behind-the-scenes machinations involved with blocking Nesara since the 2007 to 2008 global financial collapse. Back in April 2008, then Pope Joseph Ratzinger Pope Benedict XVI failed in an attempt to lay claim to a large tranche of the Nesara prosperity funds. He was reported as saying to close colleagues, "The little people cannot handle this money properly, only the church can." Ratzinger's audacious money grab had to be sorted out at the World Court in The Hague. This was responsible for more serious delays. Speaking to one group in Washington on Thursday, April 17, 2008, the Pope said if the peasants think they are going to get this money, they have another thing coming. It will never happen. He was not talking about the $2.0 trillion. He was referring to the Global Prosperity Funds or GESARA, which is an acronym standing for Global Economic Security and Reformation Act. Thus, as a program, GESARA Nesara can be viewed from several perspectives. As a spiritually directed financial program, it traces back to the work of ascended masters. That work began in the 15th century and was designed to provide a new economic system for the world during the present time of transition. This is well known to be the beginning of the Global Collateral Accounts or World Trust. Viewed as a modern development, however, the roots of GESARA Nesara can be found in the response by the Supreme Court to dangerous banking foreclosures against farm property which the court found to be illegal in the 1980s. In the course of reviewing these practices, the court went further and ruled that many other contemporary banking, taxation and governance arrangements were also unconstitutional. As a legislative initiative, it then took its name from the National Economic Security and Reformation Act, and was passed by Congress in 2000. Nesara was to be publicly announced on September 11, 2001 at 10:00 a.m., but the cabal decided to blow up the World Trade Center buildings at 8:00 a.m. in order to prevent that historic moment from happening. These same dark energetic forces are to this day still fighting tooth and nail to prevent even the awareness of Nesara, much less its implementation, and at this point, delaying the announcement and RV even further. But by rule of law, Nesara must be enacted now and its widespread provisions be dispersed freely to humanity. Sure, the sinister cabal cartel was temporarily successful at achieving delays by several means, including assassinations of influential people who favor initiating the provisions without delay, as well as others actively working toward this end. Death threats to the families of light workers and to the light workers themselves. Double agents within the ranks of the light workers. And constant third-party terrorist assaults. The U.S. Patriot Act was also part of their anti-Nesara campaign, and they used the September 11, 2001 attacks as fear leverage on American people to create even more barbaric and illegal tactics of suppression. Thankfully, This oppression is no more. Interesting to note that the gold which was to back the new U.S. Treasury currency was stored in the WTC Building 7 and was stolen by the cabal during the faux attack. WTC Building 7 was also the center of Nesara operations pre-9/11 and was ultimately destroyed after the theft was complete. That's why it was made to fall without being attacked. Now viewed from the widest possible angle, Nesara is a spiritually inspired and divinely guided arrangement. Nesara is at its core galactically inspired legislation for the United States government. It was encouraged by a galactic consortium and designed with assistance from higher light beings working with all governments, in conjunction with many spiritual beings on the planet, all attempting to create a legal framework to usher in the era of peace, prosperity and harmony on planet Earth. Some consider Nesara to be more political and economic in nature, while others view it as spiritual because of the high-level light beings affiliated with it. Nesara is both. Whenever people are severely oppressed by political and economic conditions that foster impoverished living circumstances, lack of health care and education, monopoly of natural resources, slave labor, unjust laws and courts, starvation, and tyrannical regimes, offering soul food isn't enough. Something must be done. But if people are preoccupied with mere survival requirements, giving them only spiritual messages is not going to bring about the global reforms they need to rise out of their misery. They are stuck in conundrum they cannot climb out of without galactic and or spiritual help. That is why the provisions of Nesara are monumental in scope, embodying sweeping reforms for planet Earth that will begin as soon as this historic legislation is officially announced and implemented. When people become aware of these reforms, they will be motivated to participate according to their greatest capabilities and not some pre-assigned limitation. As in all other aspects of polarity still existing on Earth, Nesara is at one extreme against a dark energetic force used by the Cabal to enslave humanity for millennia. Nesara is designed to erase poverty and all its attendant ills from Earth during a transitional period preceding ascension so that the planet's sovereign citizens can again focus their spiritual attention on planetary transformation. Nesara changes will not be imposed for the sake of it, but are part of our plan to bring comfort and protection back to humanity, which will lift the human experiences to new heights and bring about sustainable peace, joy and happiness. Following Nesara, you will be in the right frame of mind to apply yourselves to the business of preparing for ascension, which is the ultimate purpose of humanity. Ultimately, this planet is destined to be weaned from the use of money, and humanity will reach a stage where money has no place in a society that is founded upon sharing. In the Earth's new golden age, the trend will be away from money and towards systems of bartering. The light intensity and souls will let those means of remuneration for services and conduct of commerce become as satisfying between nations as between individuals. It has also been said that there was no sense to implement Nesara before all dark energetic forces had been removed completely from power. Otherwise the Cabal would just continue to use their control over governments to seize people's funds after release. This is why dark energetic forces tenaciously attempt to hold onto the very top rungs of power in all human institutions. As their tentacles reached deeply into the highest levels of government, banking, media, religion, multinational corporations, royal families, education, medicine, pharmaceuticals, law and justice systems, but they cannot influence humanity with absolute rule. Nothing of an influential nature on planet Earth is now under Cabal control. Just think about that. The once all-powerful Cabal has been defeated and they no longer are recognized galactically as being in control of the Earth's native peoples or resources. Humanity is truly free. No more will humans be kept in vacuums of ignorance or chambers of invisible fear. Now it's the cabal who must experience scarcity and fear as the oppressed, as they are quickly discovering that holding on to power is impossible. The shoe is really on the other foot per se. As they rightly saw Nesara as their total uprooting, because once the program's reforms are implemented, the control of the darkness will crumble totally. And that's exactly what is happening today. Many people wonder why the Galactic Coalition does not just force the Cabal to just accept Nesara. Perhaps they appreciated the requirement of free will choice? Or are they acting in accordance with universal law, whereby the Coalition is bound to keep some distance until the arrival of a divine deadline, which technically allows even the worst Cabal occupiers to exercise free will and surrender on their own terms? Another source of confusion arises from our belief that the Galactic Coalition plans are predestined and therefore fixed. But there are things that we shall call wildcards. Which is to say, potentials that nobody thinks about and appears to cause delays. Either way, know that much is fomenting behind the scenes and the harsh truth is surfacing about the global economy, Earth's energy field and other radically charged information which will surely lead to news of the Nesara release. Your time has come. Your moment is now. Your life is yours once again. It's safe to believe. God is with us.